All right, I think we're live, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome everyone who's listening today. We got Chronic and Chrissy from the Daily Chronicles here, and we also have Gus. Goose. I knew. That's what I thought first. But yeah, we're just gonna talk about random CNFT stuff happening in the market, what we're personally doing, some different NFTs that we think are undervalued, and just kind of have like a chill, fun conversation about just the market in general. But yeah, do you guys want to introduce yourself? Do you want to start off, Chronic and Chrissy?
Indeed. Yep. Go ahead.
Hey, we the Daily Chronicles. I'm Chronic. This is Chrissy. We have our YouTube channel. Block is we did a CNFT live together. So yeah, man, we just trying to get some exposure. Amazing to be here with you guys. My homie Goose with the NFA crew. We might have Tao Crypto join here in a minute, as well as some other influencers, Cardano NFT influencers. So yeah, man, thank you, Block, for doing this.
We're excited to be here. It's been a while since that CNFT live, and can't wait to hear where you're at in the market as well and what you think, and hear everyone's ideas.
Yeah, for sure, man. And it's awesome to have you guys on here because it has been a while since I've talked to y'all, and we haven't had a live where it was a smaller group with us. The only time I've ever talked to you guys was with 10 other people on here, which is a lot of people, right? So it's awesome to be able to get to know you guys more. And if you're watching and aren't subscribed or have been following them, make sure to follow them, guys. They do that NFA Twitter space pretty much every single night where you can catch them in there. And they also have some really good YouTube videos as well. So
thank you.
Yes, indeed. Thank you, man. Appreciate that.
And how about you, man? What's your story?
My story, my name is Goose. I'm a part of the NFA team, Not Fans Advice. We run Twitter spaces every single day. We literally fall asleep on there. We touch every single topic, whether it's devs, projects, up and coming mints, anything, And we also have projects come in and we talk to them. We keep it raw and real. And it's always, it's different. I'll say that. So if you can, tune in. NFA, it's every night on Twitter.
Yeah, Twitter spaces.
Yes.
I know. I'm planning on doing my first one with you guys. Maybe tonight. I'll be on there. Just about. They run it pretty late, guys. It's around 12 p.m. Eastern time, correct? Just for people that are, potentially interested.
Roughly. I mean, it depends. Goose and I are on Eastern time. So if we decide to, if we don't have the kids running around, because it's usually bedtime for us. So, we would open one up. But anytime it's, hashtag not financial advice, we're up and running. But yeah, definitely by 9 p.m. Pacific.
Yeah, and sometimes we run it earlier. Like it's just whenever we get the vibe, and we're just gonna run it. So it's every day. You can't miss it. So if you can't catch today, you'll catch tomorrow, the next day. And like I said, it goes through the night. People fall asleep, people snoring on there. People like, yo, everybody's sleeping here. It's just me looking around. You know what I mean?
Oh my god!
You'll wake up.
And move it like a portal, move it to the next space, or someone else will open it up. Real talk.
It's been times I was asleep. I woke up. I hear like Equine heard something. What happened with Equine? What we doing? Did they release anything?
We're still here.
So it's crazy.
This sounds so degenerate. I love it, man. Like it's so unorganized, so chaotic. Like this sounds awesome.
It's great. It's why they call it the jungle. Like you just come in, you don't know what you're gonna get, but it's great. Everyone has a good time.
Yeah, absolutely. And you find out some really amazing plays, plays that you get in early, right? And that's it. Entry points is everything, right? And you also, learn what not to get in, the exit points, when we're going to dump it. You get the real-time plays because we don't just pump nothing. Like this is strictly going to be a flip or, hey, I'm holding them. Like 8 or knots. I'm holding them. I have 24 of them. I haven't sold any, you know what I mean? I've accumulated them. So, you know what I mean? Like, it's just real and raw and being honest with them. So, you know how it is as the influence on YouTube. They think you always either buying and selling on someone or, you're not being honest. So now here it is. This is what I'm doing to you. Like, and if you have a problem with it, please let me know because I don't, I'm telling you what I'm doing type of thing,
Yeah, facts. Now, I'm kind of curious. The first question I had for all of you guys is what projects are you currently like most invested in? Like, because the market has been definitely taking a shift right now, just globally in all sorts of different assets. Like, what are some of the key NFTs that you guys really like that you're kind of holding right now. And feel free too to share your screen if you want, to go over these different ones too.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we are very highly invested in equine. We are highly invested in the Ape Society,
Chilled
Kongs, and what would be your next one, the fourth one?
Got a lot of now we got 3 space buds. We got some clays, block owls.
Yeah, that's a big investment.
Block owls, stuff like that, and then we got some metaverse plays, you know what I mean? So like Ape Society cabins and hobby and such. We got really a little bit of everything, bro. It's like a big ETF.
Yeah, but there's
I'm like old school, man. I'm old fashioned. I just give me the top 3, in my mind. Clays, buds, and yummies, and that's where all my money goes. And whenever I flip this, flip that, it goes right back into them. And I'm hopefully equine. I'm accumulating over time. Like over time, I see the floor drop to 270. I shouldn't be saying this, but I'll grab one. 275 good stats. I'll grab one. So
good idea.
That's it.
Good idea.
That's smart. Yeah.
They're at a great price right now, I believe. So it's great to snatch.
Yeah, they at 300 right now. I'm looking at them, and I just listened to CJ Lovelace interview Fahad. If y'all haven't looked at it and look, it's pretty awesome. It's 2 hours. I just watched that because again, I'm heavily invested in equine, and I wanted Fahad to explain it to someone else. And CJ and I are gonna chop it up, and maybe it might be tonight.
Pump it.
Oh, I'm pumping it because I'm gonna go on there, and Chrissy and I are gonna do a video, and we're gonna probably buy some more horses because that's what got her to understand it.
Now, why are you guys so bullish on equine? Like, when are they like releasing stuff? Like, what makes you so bullish? Because I don't own any right now. I remember like looking into it, but I was like, man, trying to look at all these stats is like a whole entire thing. So like, I don't know if it was just like my lazy side not wanting to like jump more into this, but like, what makes you so bullish?
It's deep. We read the white paper a couple times. We minted 15 of them on December 18th, right? So it was $250 a pop, and the ADA price was decent at the time, if you recall. So it made her understand the white paper is so well written out. If you can sit there with your attention span, Chrissy read it block, so she put a YouTube video out on her white paper read. Right.
Yeah, so if you want to hear the audio.
You want to hear it. But long story short, man, there's specific stats on these horses, and it's going to be a race horse management game, right? So you can either race or breed, right? And these horses, these pioneer horses, there's only 14,125 of them ever, right? And you can breed them, right? But if you race, you can't breed, or if you breed, you can't race, right? So you can race for a few months, and then once you start breeding, like in real life, you're done, right? So it's strategic in that sense, right? And then it's passive income, right? You can set the females, the fillies, get to keep their babies when they breed once a month. You can have a baby. The stud fee, the colt, is the male. You can stud them out 5 times a month for passive income. So if you have, like Tommy has the 171, right, a really fast one, it's like top 20 in the whole game. He could charge 300 ADA per stud fee and then breed that. That's 1,500 ADA a month he potentially can gain, right, if there's a market for his 171 speed horse, right, which it will be. So there's a lot of ways to get it, and it's just, it's going to be stables. It's going to be really fun, man. Like I said, it's a big community.
Yeah. I mean, there'll be a whole set of people who are interested in the racing aspect of it, and a whole set of people who are interested in the breeding. And so that right there is really interesting. That pulls in a lot of people. If you look at what Solana, or who has a similar, and it's already big, and this one is going to be so much bigger. The quality, the just how the horses look, everything you could tell is going to be much better quality. And the passive income you can get having babies, selling babies, your pioneer horses that you have them for 18 months. And then you get a 20 ADA reroll to get a brand new horse.
Perpetually.
Wow.
Yep. And so forever. And so the baby horses that you have will die off and they don't come back, but the pioneer horses, which will never be minted again, will always, you can keep them, or you can end up selling for that re-roll, you know, and do it that way. But there's a lot of income possibilities with it.
Now, I'm usually a floor guy, but is this a situation where you want to get like a horse that's going to have high stats? So, you know, because like that whole stud thing, like you probably wouldn't get that from a horse that doesn't have good stats, right? Like you'd want to have a horse with like good speed. Like what's the strategy for you guys?
Goose, you want to?
I'm a floor guy too. I'm just like you, brother. Like I stopped buying, you know, above floor looking for. I buy floor so I know when I can get in and get out. I can calculate. Some people say, you know, this is the price of this. When I'm trading, I'm like, nah, stop. I'm gonna look at the floor. I can, you know exactly what I'm doing. So when I buy equine on the floor, I look at I also look at the rarity, but you want to look at the stats and combine the two kind of. So if you have like, you know, 3 at 300, I'm comparing all of them. What's like the rare, you know, color, especially color of the horse, because a lot of horses look the same. So I kind of look for color, and I also look at that total stat at the bottom. And to me, I don't know if Carney gonna agree, but 150 or above is good stats, right?
Amazing stats.
Yeah.
So I try to get close to 150. You know, some of them be like, you know, I think I seen a couple of them from like 86 or like 102, 101. Then I seen one for 128. They all the same price. I'm grabbing that one, and it's decent like rarity with the coloring.
So yeah, I kind of went everywhere. That's perfect, Goose. Like we went, Chrissy and I's business plan with this block was the rare colors. Yep. So there's like 2 of 1, 3 of 1, 4 of 1, 8. We have a male and a female of smoky cream. There's only 8 of them. They're beautiful, white, creamy, like it's very standoutish. You know what I mean? So we're going to keep that lineage. So we're going to breed as many as we want. We might breed 15 and have 15 babies, right? Then we can still have 4 stud fees times 15 is another, I can't even add right now. But it's another 70, right? I can't even add right now. But another 70.
I'm with you.
Yeah. Another. I can breed another stud my rare colored colt out 4 more times, right? A month, and you know, times 15,
more.
Right? So then, you know, I can maintain that bloodline. And then we went for, you know, we got a male and a female of every rare color. We got a gold champagne, an amber champagne, gold cream, amber creams. We just went and I went and sniped them just like we would snipe a project we like. I went and got them rare colors at the best stats, like Goose said, but there might be only 8 of them, 3 fillies and 5 males. So like if the stats are 116, I didn't care, right? Because I needed one to pair with it. So the babies now, you can now breed. You can't breed with the parents, right? So you got to be strategic on who you're breeding with, and if you're trying to maintain the color bloodline, like a purebred, you're gonna breed with a white with a black and get a rare. Right. Looking for, you know,
and you'll unlock new colors too. They said there's potential to unlock new colors. We don't know how rare or not rare they'll be. The other thing is the Pioneer horses do get re-rolled in 18 months, so we'll lose those rare colors possibly. Low floor, you know, or lower colored rarities. The lower rarities, I'm sorry, might re-roll into a high rare color. You know.
So in 18 months, like you could turn a floor piece into a top horse.
Yes, right. Yes, and you could turn the top one into a
bottom one.
But we have to make sure that we have the babies out enough and keep the bloodline of colors, because our Pioneer horses will re-roll and we won't know what we get. So we're gonna have to figure out that strategy as well. Sorry,
so your babies can have babies, but the babies that you have, they die and they just die. So the people that don't have Pioneer horses would always have to buy from me. Just like you, I would have to rent bubble jets from you.
Yeah.
Right? Because I don't have a bubble jet. I'm going to have to rent your bubble jet to get around. So if you want to participate in the game and race, which is going to go in 24 hours a day racing, right? Then they have jockeys on them. And, you know, you have to rent my horse, right? So it's really, really cool and deep. And I'm trying to talk quick, you know.
But you hit a block. Like it sounds like a lot, but when you race, you just press a button, and that's it. You don't touch anything. All it is like go, and that's
Very easy.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, it seems like this project is the most in-depth and strategic project out of all CNFTs. Like, I think it really rewards people that are doing their homework and know about the strategy, know about the white paper. Like, it might be one of those situations where you're buying up a lot of floor horses 6 months out, knowing that there's a 50% chance. Well, no, there's 100%. Well, there's a high chance that's not going to be a floor anymore, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So, and then what's crazy is even the concept of, hey, you're just buying them, holding 6 months, knowing that people are going to think the same and then flip into them because they're going to be like, oh man, there's a chance that this is going to go a lot higher. I know it's not going to go lower.
Right.
It might stay the same, but it's not going to go lower. So it's kind of crazy, man. Like, I think that's why I haven't paid too much attention, but I need to start doing that because that sounds like a crazy in-depth project.
Well, soon the floor is going to start rising, right? It's at 300 right now, right? Yeah. Once it gets closer to launch, come December, right? Because
it's December.
December it's going to launch. Like, games going to be like operational. Like, really soon, you're going to be able to get guilds, like little stables, syndicates, to where we can all team up together and pair like 100, 200 horses together, to where we like breed together and help each other.
Pick how to breed them, yeah.
Yep.
Right. So, it's going to be really interesting because Zedrun on Ethereum, they have like 250,000 assets now, whereas we have 14,000. At first, they had 38,000. So the supply was like double and a half. Right. So we're starting off lower. And if you go look at Zedrun, D-Race, Pegasus, and there's like 3 or 4 of them on other chains. Like, see what some of these horses were going for, tens of thousands of dollars.
Yeah, I've seen.
Yeah, so you know where this is going. And for our content creators, this was going to be our bread and butter, because every day, if you want to train, you could see how your horses progress, right? So you want to breed them with, they have 5 stats: endurance, agility, speed, 2 other ones, right? So then, like, if they have 1 bad stat and a good stat, you want to breed them with the good and bad stat to get that stats up higher. So it's, I'm explaining it horribly because I'm excited.
No, dude, it's interesting. Like, it's crazy how much is going to this.
It's deep.
A lot.
Yeah.
There's jockeys that
there's skins too. There's jockeys. I mean,
the jockeys can give you a wise or a determined, or, if your horse is low in something, there's a jockey that can help bring that specific aspect up.
Certain
it's a lot of strategy. Really good for strategy players who love to play those type of games.
Now, and I heard that you like mostly Space Buds, Yumi, and Clay?
Yeah. That's me, for sure. What about you? You never said what you like, man.
Dude, I'm into a bunch of stuff. I think right now, and like, this is a good topic to talk about too, it's like the market has really been changing, right? And like, we have no idea how long we'll be in a bear market or whatever the situation is. So it's one of those things, like, right now I'm kind of adapting because, I'm super confident about CNFTs in the long term. Like, I think this space, because I'm used to Ethereum, I'm used to Solana, and I know this is a better product, and I think NFTs are going to be a lot bigger. But in this kind of in-between phase, it's like, I'm definitely prioritizing projects that I think will be around even if everything goes to shit, Like, if everything crashes like 70% and the whole market just melts down and we're in a recession, I want to be in projects that I think will be around. So, like, right now, it's projects that are like, okay, is the team doxed? Have they been around for a while? Like, have they constantly been doing things? Like, that's what I'm looking at. So, like, projects like Clay Nation is big to me because I know Clay Nation's always going to be here. I mean, I don't own a Space Bud right now, but Space Bud's another project where it's like, that OG narrative, the first of its kind, like, that's going to be here if you're betting on CNFTs.
Yeah.
Space Buds is going to be around. But a lot of these mid-range projects, I don't know, man. And like, that's where I think that's why we're getting so much of a sell-off on those.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. I know websites and being doxxed and all that too, right? I've heard you say that countless times in your videos before.
Yeah.
Yeah, all those dudes, those big time dudes are doxxed. Almost all of them, you know what I mean? Websites are going. Clays are just like rocking. They're literally like writing the blueprint for everybody else. Like they're doing almost everything right, even with their mints, with their producing, and they have a lot of different NFTs, and it's still valued high. So
Their clay paper was great. That
that was exciting.
not really good.
That was very smart, strategic. They
Really
know how
well.
to get the floor rolling again on the pitches. You know what I mean?
They know what they're doing.
But yeah, as far as doxing too, I mean, doxing on Twitter Spaces to me is almost just as good as seeing your face. I can feel your energy. I can hear your voice, your passion. I can feel if you BSing me. Like I say that, like Ape Society. I've talked to the devs 3 times. That's one that's going to be around. Chill Kongs. I talked to Diamond Hodl, and they're right there. You know what I mean? Even though you necessarily don't see them and speak to them face to face, they're always there and available. I love that, and like I said, those are 2 projects that I'm getting in along with Clay's, Space Buds. I actually got 2 Yummies right before the run up because Yummies is going to be an amazing project as well.
Yeah.
And just kind of accumulating what I know, like you said, I mean, like selling off a lot of things and literally just putting them into the top projects, or having that crash bag, as Tal would say.
Yeah.
So Goose, like you're pretty much just like right now you're like making money off flips, swings, putting that into those top 3. Is that your strategy?
That's my strategy. Like I know you should spread it out a little bit, and I'm starting to, right? I listen to these, like we said, we argue, we yell, we scream, and debate different projects in NFA, and it's exciting. And I learn so much because sometimes I'm like, man, that's not gonna. And then Christ's like, what are you talking about? They got this, they got this.
I'm trying to tell them about Kongs and apes. I'm pumping my bags. They say, but I'm just trying to educate.
You think Kongs is still a buy right now?
Yeah, I do.
Kongs at one point, and I sold them all early. But that's my mentality. I'm a flipper. I just want the quick liquid and put it into what I think is a blue chip in my research and in my thought process. But I had 8 Kongs. If I would have kept them on the flip side to that, yes, I came in profit, but I had 8 Kongs. You know what I mean? All different. So it's just
it's when to sell and how. Block, I spoke about Kongs on the podcast
live
a lot. Yeah, I mean, so the thing is, yes, I think there's a buy because there's still 6 to 8 weeks to the shroom drop, which is going to be a 1-to-1 Kong. You're going to get a shroom, right? Magic shroom, one of 3 types, a common, an uncommon, and like a super rare, right? There's only be 10 or 15 of these magic shrooms, right? So then you're gonna get that's when it's gonna run up, right? Unorganic run up, right? And then it's gonna dump after they get these ad drops. So we know that. So this floor has been stabilized around 2,300, for a while. So I do think it might run. I've been saying for a while, 4,500, 5,000 ADA. Right. Not financial advice. I think
that's a big price target.
We argue this, but
people are gonna delist, you know what I mean, and then people are gonna once they have the date for this shroom drop, or like, hey, yo, delist now because the snapshot's coming. Everyone's gonna take them off the market. Is the point now? How long is that window, right? But I think it's gonna definitely go up, and I mean, you're gonna get a free NFT, and if you look at the Magic Kongs, what's coming out, the Trippy Kongs they're called, it's gonna be really cool.
It's going to be a big window for people to be able to get into the project who aren't even in chilled Kongs yet, who may not be able to afford to get into the floor price. That's going to be big. So, I mean, they're going to be very valuable, but how valuable? That's the question. Yeah. But we're getting a free extra NFT to either sell or hold on to. Your decision.
Yeah, my bad. I forgot to say they're going to have a public mint of 4,888 already mutated, like tripped out Kongs. Yes. Right. So I don't know the mint price yet. So that's the way like Ape Society Cabins let people that were outside the ecosystem. Right. They took care of the people that like had apes, let them mint. Right. And then now they're going to, like, as far as the shrooms, you're getting it. But then if you're not, they're going to get available for some public mint. But they won't have the same traits or anything. And you won't get to mutate. You won't have no mushrooms. So you can have the same Kong could have 3 different free Kongs, right? You can have a common, uncommon, and a super rare Kong out of one, right? If you get all of the mushrooms. So I've been trying to.
Yeah, that's interesting. I know that public I'm going to go for 100% because, I mean, there's no way that wouldn't be, unless they're crazy with the mint price, but there's no way that wouldn't be super like worth going for.
Do you have any Kongs right now?
You know what's crazy, man? I had bought 6 Kongs at like 500 to 600 ADA. Honestly, around the same time Chronic was talking about them. I know that on the CNFT Live, I had bought another one when you had mentioned it. So I sold most of them, though. I think I only have 1 Kong left. So I'm just holding that one for now. Part of it was like it had gone to 600 to 1500 in like a week, dude. And I was like, whoa, like, let me sell a couple of these because that was like super fast movement. And then I sold like 2 more at like 2,500-ish.
That's a good bag.
It was a good bag. I mean, it was a good play. And I have to shout out to Chronic because like, I don't know if I would have bought more if it weren't for you guys, like talking about that.
Well, my man Arctic Alpha, right? He's the guy who's did the 135K droid purchase. He's in the NFA space all the time with us, and that he also moved the Yummy price. So yeah, he's big in the Kongs now, and he made that price go from get above that 1,000 to 1,500. And that was the giddy up that the Kong community needed to get that confidence, and then it's never looked back since. So it's all been organic because you got 2 more months. That's like the next pump's going to be the unorganic, and it will settle. And I'm thinking it's going to settle about 3,000 again when it's all said and done. What you think, my homie Goose?
Yeah, I'm curious what your opinion is.
Oh, man.
Box coming too. Yeah. For free.
I go against him with Kongs all the time. He fights, says blue chip. I say no. But at the end of the day, it's a good project. My play, I was going to ask you, did you get into the pitches or the clay pitches? Did you read the clay paper at all?
Yeah, so I had gotten lucky on the raffles. So I had gotten some pitches. I had sold a decent amount of them. Right. After reading the paper, I actually bought some more pitches because I think the way they're doing the allocation, I think the pitches are really undervalued compared to the actual Claynations. And I actually think the good Charlotte is more undervalued than their actual main OG.
Right.
So like the way they set up the tokenomics.
Mm-hmm. So my play, because we were talking about Kongs and how I kind of seen it, we're talking about like the upper tier CNFT. My play was, as soon as I read the paper, I said, these are 5K a plot, and they were at 400. I bought as many as I could up until the run up to 500. I bought a couple, maybe like 2 or 3 GC clays, because like I said, so my play is to get all the clay tokens, cash it out, and then I'm going right into Kongs because that's the next big play. So I already knew clay first. I tried to like keep it on low, like, all right, everybody's talking about Kongs right now. Let me be quiet. Okay. Go get them. And then let me cash all my clay tokens out, sell off, maybe a couple of the plots and this and the third. Now I'm gonna go directly next into Kongs because I see Kongs coming from steady 26K. 2,600 coming down 25, coming down 24. So I got 24 now. I'm hoping to get to like 22. I had a couple offers. I know my man Tal. He said he put an offer in for to 2,200. Somebody he took it. So I'm putting my offers in as well, like 21, 22, 2K, and see if they bite or not. Because that's around where it's gonna come. Because currently, like you said, it's coming. Once we already seen this run up, it's gonna run up again. It's like not financial advice. Do not listen to me. I'm nobody. But we've seen it happen. So.
Yo, it's kind of crazy, like, because you definitely are swing trading, and like that's something that I do a decent amount. Like, just if you can keep up with the news and the information happening in the market, you will literally win 9 times out of 10. Because like, and I made a whole video on it because like people get bored, they stop paying attention to a project. They announce a big thing, that's going to have more eyes on it. That's going to create hype, and people are going to buy it. So I swing trade a lot too. And I actually had a question. Why do you think chilled Kongs are not a blue chip? And then the question I had for Chronic and Chrissy, do you like Ape Society or chilled Kongs more? So both of those questions. We'll go with the first one though. Why is it not a blue chip?
They probably can't answer that second one, but I don't know.
I said it once. Go ahead, and you the first.
But
you got the first one.
It's early. It's too early. You know what I mean? We've seen them run up. We've seen them, I will say they have a strong community, but it's early. I want to see more. You know what I mean? At first, they didn't really have a roadmap. And that's okay. You know, they develop one and they start building, but it's early. You know, they have one drop. I can't just say that's a blue chip. Well, it's only probably one blue chip, two blue chips in Cardano. It's going to be Space Buzz for obvious reasons you talked about. And then Clay's, just looking at what they've done. But like, we're not even ready. We're not even the second most popular NFT, you know, in the world yet. It's Ethereum, then we got Solana, then, you know, maybe us. You know what I mean? We got to build Cardano up, I feel like, first, and to get more, you know, more people in before we start saying what's a blue chip, what's going to be around. But Buds, like you said, is not financial advice, going to be here regardless. The second question is that's for them.
Yeah, no, that was good input, man. I think that, you know what was crazy is I was seeing Ape Society run, and this is another reason I like Chilled Kongs, is because Chilled Kongs wasn't running. And I was like, Ape Society was going crazy. But then you were seeing Ape Society doing a bunch of stuff, and I felt like Chilled Kongs wasn't doing anything for the longest amount of time. And then when they came out with their roadmap and were saying they were doing all these things, I was like, oh, wait a minute, like maybe they are going to be working on stuff. But I do think you're right in the sense that like they still need to prove, like, I don't want to say they still need to prove themselves because they literally over 2,000 ADA, they have a super strong community and they've been around for a while. But it's like, I would like to see them deliver on these different things that are coming up because we were supposed to see these Magic Kongs already, you know, and now it's got pushed back a little bit more, which is honestly good for them because it's keeping the price up, I feel. But it's interesting. I'm curious, Chronic and Christy, what you think about it.
Yeah, you go first, though.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I said it on Timmy and J Crypto, the Gauntlet. I think the Ape Society is my longest hold. You know, along with Aquine, I'm not going into that's a different play. Ape Society is so deep. As far as they're gonna have DeFi, they got staking. They got the 700 million society coin. Then they have the NFTs. It's the gamification, the community. They got real life stuff with the DAO. And I mean, just the access to the founders and stuff that are docs to me that have real life business experience. It's a different type of community too than Kongs, right? So there's going to be a two different ape projects, in my opinion, that's going to make it on Cardano. And yeah, man, with the farming and stuff on MinSwap, the coins almost 0.05 ADA. It's really hard not to be extremely bullish on them, you know. And that was the hold for the 10 epics, right? That's why the price went up like it did, to get the diamond hand trophy and to get all the coins possible, right? So that was somewhat inorganic, right? So then you've seen the correction. That's why I'm going to say the Kongs is going to pump somewhat similar, and then they're going to have a correction. So do you have anything?
I mean, I agree with you. I would have said the Ape Society more so because we see a lot more of their strategy. We see a lot more of their tokenomics and their plans. They've gotten onto spaces with us and talked a lot more with us than, you know, the devs. We are part of Congress. We love Chilled Kong so much. We feel they're very, you know, close. But Ape Society has just given more information and more of their future outlook. And they do have a lot more plays that we have seen. And we've talked to the devs so many times personally. More utility, I'm sorry. And we've talked to the devs personally so many times that they have made us, we hear how knowledgeable they are. They're like chess players. They're very, 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 very smart. Chilled Kongs is so amazing. We talk with Benny and Diamond Hodl all the time. We've never spoken with the actual developers, with Deckard and whomever, you know, Master of C and all, but we would like to do that. I'm sorry, I just lost my thought because I saw something, but seeing their roadmap, seeing everything that they have, their merch, their music, the connections that they have, they are building bridges with Ethereum. They're at so many NFT, you know, Diamond Huddle went to some NFT get-togethers to bring Chilled Kongs to more spaces, and just everything they're doing, we're bullish on as well. It's just we haven't seen as much as we've seen in the Ape Society to be at. You know.
Yeah, and to kind of go off of that, like I'm a big guy on like narratives, and like when you look at Ethereum, it's like, okay, you got Bored Ape, like, oh wow, like you got the Bored Ape, and what's going to be the Bored Ape of Cardano is what I think to myself all the time. Like, what are people going to gravitate towards? And right now, the big two are Chilled Kongs and Ape Society. And it'll be interesting to see if anyone's going to compete. You know, like, we are still super, super early in this space. But I'm looking for that narrative. I'm looking for that play because, I mean, freaking Bored Ape are $300,000 floors. I don't know what they are now with this whole correction. But just imagine once CNFTs get a lot bigger. And now all of a sudden, an Ape Society that's 1,800 ADA, now all of a sudden that's 50,000 ADA, and now ADA is $1 or $2 or $3, right? So it's really interesting. I'm constantly looking for that. And, you know, that's like a great perspective that you guys gave.
Yeah. And I can't say that, I mean, in the future, that Chilled Kongs wouldn't, I mean, are they going to do this as Cardano grows? We don't know, because once they come out with magic shrooms, once they come out with a lot more announcements, how are people going to respond? The community is so strong there as well. It's two completely different communities, but really, really strong family dynamics in both. So, I mean, I could see them even flip-flopping here and there.
I like the thing I think when we do get mass adoption on Cardano is that I told NFA, I told Chronic and this and Chrissy and the people before that Kongs are more like hip and friendly and youther. When I look, if that's even a word, you know, more they apply to the youth better, more pleasing on the eye aesthetically. But when I look at Ape Society, it's like a grown man or a grown woman type of feel, and I think the play of more, you know, like appealing to the youth is going to work better for Kongs in the long run when we do get more people in here and so forth. But
great perspective on that too.
That's how I do. But Kongs is a derivative. You know, I don't know how it's going to work with the, you know, Bored Ape and then people who don't, all they know, you ask somebody, you know about NFTs, yeah, the monkeys, you know, they see that. So is that going to play in and help Kongs when we do get more people around here or what, you know, or it's going to hurt? Oh, that's a copy.
I think, great perspective. I think Kongs is definitely the Bored Ape Yacht Club of Cardano. I think Ape Society is bringing something different that really, you know, that's going to be different than all chains because they had collectors that have BASE and, you know, they have the guys are collectors like us, the devs. So they're trying to like do something that's not been done and tie it all together. Now, will that happen? And it is more sophisticated, like Goose says, in a sense, because it's deep. It's deep.
And they're killing it. And that's not to take anything from H. Whatever they're doing, they're lane that they're in, they're killing it. Like nobody's doing it. I haven't seen it, you know, on Cardano blockchain at all, but like they're killing that 100%. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Dude, it's interesting how you were talking about like the feeling, like the vibe of a project. I haven't really thought about that. Like, what sort of audience is this going to attract? Right? Mm-hmm. Like you do have that like kind of more professional feel with Ape Society where Chilled Kongs is more chill. And like, that's definitely something that is to think about. And Chronic, you think that Chilled Kongs is going to be the comparison to Bored Ape? Why do you think that?
Well, Jake Shepard and the crew from Ethereum, that's what that's what moved them over from ETH on midnight. You know what I mean? A lot of BASE and Mutant Ape holders minted Kongs because they see that comparison. Like Goose said, it was a derivative. It was Cardano's BASE. It's just is. It's no one's coming over to take over that monkey project now, right? Kongs has it. The apes now is just something totally separate and different, and it's really not even a comp to me. You know what I mean? It's like you got to have both, in my opinion. And you know, whether if you can't get in access at 1,800 or 25, get in the cabins at 180 because they're going to explode here once they release staking goes live, and then try to mute the trippy Kongs right for public right under 5,000, you know, 4,888. That's your access points, your entrance points to both communities and projects, you know. But yeah, definitely, like Goose said, man, it appeals to the youth more.
Yeah, and I think the number one project on Cardano for that, if we're talking about like, you know, that PFP on my Instagram, my Twitter, that has a different look than everything is Ugly Bros, right? Ugly Bros, it's just completely different to what I've seen on any blockchain. And especially when they start doing these customs, I think that's going to be PFP central. I can see, you know, actors, you know, artists, you know, big name people, quote unquote, you know, starting to rock those on the PFPs, especially if Cardano blows up, because it's different. And it appeals to everybody, and it's colorful and it's bright and it's it looks dope to me.
Yeah, I was about to say I don't really know I know a little bit about Ugly Bros. It was never a project I did like a deep dive on. Like, do you think that I guess like the next question I want to ask you guys is like, what do you think is like the most undervalued project right now? Or like some of the like, what are you guys looking at buying? What like is Ugly Bros one of the ones you're looking at? Like what is undervalued right now to you?
Jeez, I wish I had a chart in front of me. I think
So many.
I mean, with the Ugly Paper just came out. I did just read the white paper, Ugly Paper, on our channel as well, if anyone likes the audio version. But where that I feel like is a little bit of a sleeper. There's going to be a lot. They're connecting with ETH as well through their potions that are going to be airdropped to season 1 and season 2 holders. They have musicality. That can be connected to it. They're really knowledgeable. They're really great. I mean, they have already had so many mints, and they have a huge community that follows well. So
it's definitely Sergio is another dox when he's doxed. Block Owls obviously is extremely undervalued. They're gonna have this pump here going into season 3 mint. It's this June 28th. Then they're gonna have a season 4 mint, which is the remaining 3,500, bad owls. So that would complete the 10,000 season. Block Owls is like 185, 200. Goose made a great play, at around 100, right, Goose? So you already doubled your money, and it's gonna go up again.
Yeah. Season 3 is coming out soon.
We haven't seen Block Owls. The Block Owls is so dope. I don't know if you're familiar, Block, but those owls are crazy.
No, dude, they look dope, and like I've always been surprised how low ADA they are. Because like I bought some and I was holding them for like over 2 months and they were like the same price still, and it's such a shame because like they are the coolest animated project on Cardano by far. I mean, those look sick.
Yep, that was my first buy, really, like on the secondary. That got me, to move and spend money out the Sunday swap, stake pool. Like I had to, and CNFT.io cost me a lot of ADA by not getting my stuff sent. But it was easy to me to see, like, why are these not, why are they not more, more known? The problem is there's such a small collection so far. There's only 5,000 right now, right? So like, and a lot of us have a bunch of them, right? So it's kind of like, the wallet distribution is not where it needs to be, but there's only 8 people that can really have a full collection of legendaries. There's only 8 legendaries, right? And then they got one of one mythics. You're never going to get a full collection. So there's only 8 people that can get a full set ever. Once people understand, I think there's a couple of them that are already completed. So they might have 4 left. Once people realize that there is gonna like boom, and if they turn into a video game, not video game, a movie, a little animated, TV show, movie.
Well, you can go on and see already what they've animated. They've already created things that have great graphics. It's so cute. It's definitely going to be big.
Kids love them.
Kids love them, right?
Our kids are obsessed with
That's
them.
what I told Goose. I said, dude, why he got a son? I said,
yeah,
kids gonna love them, and that right there is enough to you get some parents to
We made a video of Block Owls, and our daughter, that's the only one that I think that we have someone popping in. Truly, she came in to have to look at the Block Owls, and so we had to pause to do that. They love it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dude, that's cool to get kids in it too, because like I got my 15-year-old cousin into NFTs and he loves it, man. And it's I wish like when I was in middle school or high school I knew about NFTs, because like what a fun, cool way to get into investing.
Right.
Is like NFTs. Like it's visual. Like we're able to see like what we're investing. It's not just a number. And I think people connect with imagery so much more. And it's factual too. Like it's not just I think, like that's a fact. Like people see stuff, they connect way more than text on a screen.
Well, we have a friend, Stevie Crypto, on Twitter, who's an 8th grade teacher, and he always has his class listening in on Twitter Spaces with us to learn about projects. He'll ask questions for them. And he said that they just left the school year and there were 3 to 5 of them or something that left with NFT wallets, and,
cool.
He's getting them into it. He's helping. He's really wanting to change and teach them, at a young age, which is amazing. We need to teach the kids how to learn. We're teaching our older kids why these are important, why they're great investments, what they can do for you. Reddick does that with his kids, D Clay with their kids. It's great. Goose, I'm sure you're going to be teaching yours YouTube blocks. So it's good for the youth.
Mm-hmm.
Were you saying something, Goose?
No, I was just agreeing with
Oh.
But I do undervalued Cardano trees. You ever hear about Cardano trees?
Dude, Freedom 35ers just told me about that on Monday, and they were saying the new bonsai trees are coming out soon. I thought those trees were sick.
Yeah,
I think here. We got another guy in here now. Tal.
What up, Tal?
What's up? What's up? What's up?
But Cardano trees and like that's that's dope, man. That's just it's different. We haven't seen that really. Like Havoc World, Block Owls. Yeah.
So Block Owls, Cardano trees. You were saying Ugly Bros a little bit.
Yeah,
like
those are pretty. Yeah, they're at a good price. I would say, not financial advice. Do your own research. I'm just talking right now with a bunch of people.
Dude, I know if you're wrong on the block is hot. I mean, you're getting sued, man. There's
Don't kill me. What's up, Tal?
What's up, guys? What's up?
What's up?
Yeah, I heard you in my car, but I was driving, so.
You want to throw something in?
Yeah, what's your undervalued, man? What's your undervalued?
First of all, BASE are 100K now and going down. So if you want to buy a Bored API, that's probably your time. Just to let you know, I do a lot of it lately. So because when the market hit, that's probably your time to buy the stuff you can't.
Right.
So if anybody doesn't have the money to buy clays or anything involved the top nut stuff, that's probably the time. When is the last time not Chilcon, but a space bot were $2,500 if you're looking on new entries, right? It was always like around the $5K if you're looking on outside of what we are looking, because me, Goose, Kornick, probably you too, you only look on ADA, but that's not the real case here, because if people coming from the outside, they're looking on dollars, and 2,500 for a top-notch blue chip on our blockchain, it's cheap. It's like, it's a steal, it's undervalued. This will be my biggest undervalue, but the cheapest one, E46 pumped them up, but Raggies. So you look on that pixel and you look on Raggies, and you said, 1 second, what does that pixel have that Raggies doesn't?
What project is it?
Raggies? Crypto Raggies?
Crypto Raggies?
Right on page, right.
Oh my God, I made him think.
What is it?
I made you think.
You'll see him at Crypto Raggies.
Crypto Raggies. I have them here, like.
It's on his back, behind his back.
Oh, wow. I don't know about that project.
Tell us about it.
Partner with Block Hours. They're a small community. They're a game. You can earn Raggy coin by playing their game, and
you can stake it too, like you stake in like you stake in right now. It's so I have that pixel, and it's exactly same, very similar staking mechanism. They do mints on blocks. So they did 1K, then I think another 1,500 and another 1,500 lately. They minted so far 4,500. But because they are minting service too, so they kind of they check in their mint service. So they do a multi-sign minting service, and they always innovated their minting service as well. So they always get progressed with the time. E46 is probably the guy that should talk about them. He really dive deep in, because I don't think he have a lot of money to spend on NFTs. So he's looking for the low key NFTs. And if you're looking for something around the 50, 70, 100 ADA, it's like $20-$40 to actually get an entry. I think that's a great buy right now. Yeah, I bought like 20 or 30. I don't remember. I basically go with E46. I think you said it in the beginning. It's really hard to follow everything. So when you have like 8 or 10 or 40 people every night that's surrounding you, each one of them giving you a different kind of idea of what to do. So that's what I like about our space. It's like so many people coming in, and like, okay, let's let's pump chronic bag. So we're talking about chill kongs. I just got 4 chill kongs in the last 2 weeks, but I did
Oh
it in a
wow.
weird way. I got 10 yummies before the pump because I know yummies pretty good, and I said these 10 yummies will get me 10 kongs. I want 10 kongs. So I start to swing like I saw a lot of your videos, Block, but so I take a lot of stuff from other people. So the swing move I took from you a little bit, I do it a little bit different though. I like to buy established project that got demolished. The floor price like got so demolished and so
Mhm.
bad. So and when you buy them, it's so much easier for them to rise because they have the funds, they already did something in the space, and this is what you want to see if they're actually progressed. And if they did progress and their price is low, you good with that. You actually want it. I bought 50 or 60 spoopies for 30 ADA.
Oh wow.
Now they're 300. So and I hold. I I'm not a, I'm not selling any of them. Same thing I did with the Naru. I bought 25 for 100 to 150 ADA when they're demolished. They were like 400 500. Um, I bought javelins like I think I bought like 15 or 16. I didn't even talk about it because I'm not a cornucopias fan. So, but I am fan of money. So
Mm.
for 48 or what it was
Cut it out, Tab.
54 floor 54 floor. I just got 15. I think I sold all of them in the last 2 weeks, so I have 3, like
Mm.
2 and 1 or 1 and 1 or something like that, something not a
So,
lot at all.
Tab,
I sold all of them.
go try play we did. We got into goats. Remember that? We got into goats early.
Oh yeah, we got goats for 200 ADA each or 240, and we sold all of them for 500. I still have one. I like to have one if from project that I don't really know what We did goats. Oh, clumsy ghost, clumsy ghost. We did clumsy ghost. I got like 10 clumsy ghosts for 100 to 150. I sold all of them above 450. All of
So
them.
what is helping you make the decision to enter these different projects? Like
Mhm.
what are you looking for when you're doing these swings? Because you just told me a couple swings that you did recently that have all been really high gainers. What's kind of your checklist?
Um, I like to see community. I'm not a community guy. I am now, but I'm not gonna talk in Discord. But I will leave Discord open in my face for like an hour, and I want to see how it runs. That's first thing first. And then I will read a little bit too, not too much, just see what they're talking about. They're talking about the project, they're talking bullshit, they're running shit, what they're doing in the Discord. That's first thing. Second thing, I want to know how much money they did in dollars. Because if they were a little bit smart and they made a lot of money in dollars, they can actually run their business. And that's my best kind of look on them. So you look on Cornucopias, obviously they know what they're doing. Obviously, they made a big mistake when they gave this javelin for free because they just let go of $1 million, but all the rest of the people didn't even value it correctly. So why are you selling 50 ADA? It was like $40 or $50 back then. Why the hell are you selling that for that price? Because you got it for free? How much money they spent to make that? Then you look on the prices. Clumsy Ghost, we have Reaper in our. He came and said, "Hey, the guys are coming out. The watches are coming out. Reddick from the space and Wallet Wednesday, same thing." Start to talk about them more. LA's like people start to talk about
Hey,
them. I knew them before, and I
yeah.
said, "Oh my god, I have like one in my wallet forever." And then the price didn't really change a lot. And now you see all these things coming out after 6 7 months, and you said, "Okay, okay, okay." They really worked, and now they're showing what they did. This is the time to buy. Now, when this reached like 600 or 700 ADA floor, I told everybody sell it because they're not gonna pass Yummies because Yummies are better, they look better, they're more innovated. So you're gonna like Yummies. You see the coin coming out, staking mechanism, minting for season. So you see more from them, so you like them more. You see the card game, the whatever they talk about. Before the spaces, I didn't talk to a lot of gamers, for example. And now Gus told me, man, the reference they give on games, this is the best games you can find, that they are not crazy AAA games. So I like yummies. I'm not a gamer. I don't even know how to play, but I know the game doesn't. It's not gonna suck from you $1 billion to build it, right? So if it will suck out of you from you $2 million, you okay with that? You're not okay with $100 million game, because can they execute it? I don't know. Can they execute $2 million? Probably. So that's what I'm looking. I made a mistake. I bought all my lens for Ape Society in like 250 to 270, but I bought a bunch of them because I know who behind it, and whoever behind it know what he's doing. I'll buy it. I'll keep it. I'll wait. So that's what I usually do.
Yeah, that's the play right now. That's a play right now.
That's the play. I'll tell you right now that I don't get more because it's a bear market, and I'm not touching my crash bag. I have a crash bag. I call it my crash bag. Everybody know my crash bag.
Mm-hmm.
I do not touch it. I wait for ADA to go to like 20 cents or 15 cents or whatever cents it's gonna go. I don't know, but in the minute something is going down hard, I'm gonna go and buy it. When everybody sell, I'm buying. When everybody buying, I'm selling. So I always go the opposite, and it always works for me. I don't clays, for example. That's the only, I think, the only real thing I haven't sold yet. It's clays. That's the only thing I'm afraid of selling, and I did sold 4 OGs. Five. I sold 5 OGs. I still have a lot, but I did sold 5 OGs because the price was ridiculous for me. I needed to cash out a little bit. Yeah, I really, really like clays. Every time clay come up with something, I feel even more. Chronic said Chilcon gonna be the basey. I think clays are basey already.
I'll take that too.
Yeah, I'll say the only NFT in the next year that can actually overcome Spacebud, it's probably would be clays.
I feel that too, man. And there's like this, thing I think about all the time where it's like, okay, how strong is the narrative of Space Buds versus the utility of clays? Because it's like, for me, if you look at these NFTs as an investment and you're like looking for a return, when it comes to Space Buds, if you're holding a Space Buds, you're like, this is like the Bitcoin almost of CNFTs. And your whole, gain on that is just the overall gain in CNFTs. Whereas if you can get into something like clays that all of a sudden is providing a utility, like, hey, you can make an extra $50 a month on, clay, the clay token, or hey, we're going to have a play to earn metaverse. Like all of a sudden, if you're able to make an additional $1,000 a month holding a clay and a Space Bud's not making you anything, then why would there not be some sort of flip that eventually happens? I think that's could potentially happen with Bitcoin and Ethereum too, where it's like, hey, Bitcoin is awesome. It's the first one. It's what people get into. It's the safest. It's a really good store of value. But then if you look at something like Ethereum or Cardano, where you can have all these decentralized applications and smart contracts, it's like, well, hold up a minute. How do you value this?
With clays, that's the only thing I always ask that everybody, what I should do with my clays. I have like 30 plots, so pitches, 27.
Holy crap, dude, you're a whale.
Yeah, Tal's a whale.
Usually I am. I try to be.
Yeah, dude, that's big.
That's it.
So I'm saying what I'm doing. So let's say it was right now the Ape Society with the cabins, and it was pumped hard, I would sell. I really have a problem now to press on submit when I actually try to list something with clays. I said, 1 second, what am I missing? This is the only thing I'm like, am I right? I feel like I'm wrong. I really want to sell, but I can't because I understand profits. I minted 98% of them. I only bought 2, and the 2 that I bought, it's because I sold a large, recoup all the money I spent on the mint,
right,
and then bought 2 more from the extra that I have left. So all these pitches right now are free. So for me, what am I doing with them? Should I sell them? Should I get the coin? They surprised us too. Like we thought the OG, we actually thought the Good Charlotte is the play, because they said the allocation that you're gonna get from the good Charlotte gonna be almost half of the OG, and then you could sell OG and buy 3
Yeah.
good Charlottes. I did that with 2 of them. That's why I have 7 and not 9, and I just bought so much more good Charlottes. So I sold the 2 and I got 6 good Charlottes. But now I said, oh my God, I made such a big mistake. I should buy only peaches and only small in the worst location just to get the allocation.
That's it.
So what should we do? We don't really know. I don't know. What do you say, Block? I'm thinking like, what are we supposed to do with clays right now? Sell
Don't
them? Are they undervalued?
Tal, you know I preach this all the time about like not having feelings, but when it comes to like like the big dog, the blue chips, like it's like I have feelings. You know what I mean? Like all this other stuff, I buy it, peace. You know me, I'm out quick. No feelings. I get a rare, mid a rare, cool, bye. It's can't feelings when you're making money, but when it comes to like clays, base buds, maybe yummies, this is like the difference between making millions and thousands. 5 years down the road. So it's a little different. You know what to do, Tal. Just do. You've been doing it.
The separation is really hard. Like it's really hard for me to sell yummies. In the last months, I sold 4 yummies to get a Kong, but I bought them in purpose of selling them to get that Kong. So that was my purpose. But before that, I didn't even sold 1 yummies. Is that correct? For me, yes. If you, a lot of people ask me, what should I do? I tell them, are you here for ADA? Are you like yummies? What do you want to do with your yummies? Are you going to stake them? What you gonna... So there's so many questions for an answer for you. Yeah, I really like yummies. I think this is the undervalue right now. Like they're packs right now. So they have this, I don't know, Block, do you know yummies or?
I know a decent amount. I know that they are probably have the best coin so far from what I've seen, being able to mint these other projects and their staking system and all of that stuff. But I don't own any right now. I had a couple that I sold on the run up.
So they have so many under their belt. So the game you can play only with 7 cards. It's not even related to that 10 double 10K that they have. It's not related to the Narrows or to the Spoopies, the seasonal. You can actually buy a card. The card now, I think it's like 658 a floor. I can check it for you. It's like 658 a floor. And people like me actually got all 7 cards. So there is 1 through 7. I got all of those 7. And the only way for you to play in that game is with those cards. So we think you could be able to list them or rent them from us or play only with them. So I'm holding the card that you can actually play in the game. And then with the Yummy coins, you'll be able to buy the packs to actually play in the game. So I'm trying to move everything I can to because I'm like you, I'm a 10K collector and I like the NFTs. But when you start to go deep, like society, the Ape Society, right? It's the same thing. You start to go deep and say, okay, 1 second, this is DeFi. I did DeFi before on Polygon. This is a DeFi one-on-one. Buy something, pair it with another one, and get allocation from a specific coin. This is DeFi in NFTs. So I really like Yummies because of that. I think they really undervalue. I think this is crazy undervalue right now. The seasonal for sure. And yeah, and the 10K for the historical value, I like this thing. I think it's important. Yummies is my big bag. I have like 107 assets of them. So in general, if you look all of it.
So you're big into yummies. Is your number? So for you, like to just get it right, you said that you think the most undervalued is probably the Ape Society cabins, yummies, and clays. Yeah, like maybe the pitches.
Clays is undervalued. I said it multiple times. Now I'm in Ethereum a lot. Daily from NFA, like play with me around. I'm looking to do some more stuff in the Ethereum because I understand better now and I know what I'm doing. In the beginning, when I did Ethereum, I knew jack shit and it went really bad for me. I really like yummies and I really, really like clays. I think clays is the most undervalued NFT all across chains. I said it a lot, and I said it when there were like 1,008 a floor. If you look on all the assets and what they can accomplish and what they have under their belt, man, they have Snoop Dogg. Like more than that, like, and Champ being in more spaces, yeah, they're all about the money, and it's obvious for us. But when you get an A+ list in your metaverse, what else do you need? So for a small NFT market like us, so yeah.
Dope. Now, Chronic and Chrissy, how about you guys ask the next question and then answer it? What question do you guys want to ask? I'm curious.
Well, I wanted to add to that, like the
Yeah.
pitches were really like you getting 5,000 tokens per pitch, right? So the good Charlotte's only getting around 3,700, 3,800, right? So you were getting, you know, the pitches went from like 3 to 500 yesterday, right? Because you're getting, shoot, every 2 pitches you're getting almost, you're getting more than a good Charlotte, put it that way. So those were a really good deal. I don't know how great of a deal it is now because it's going to be a one-time token allocation, and not like the staking mechanisms. But a question, man, what for you? I mean, what like why you don't have space buds, Block? Why don't you have a space bud?
I felt like for me, like, so I had a space bud for the longest time. And I just felt like for me, I could take that money and make more money with it. Like it was one of those things where like I've been like really consistent when it came to like the different flips and swing trades I was getting in. And like I didn't really see space buds moving too much. So for me, I was like, at the time it was like 5,000 or 6,000 ADA. I can't even remember. I was like, I could take that 5,000 ADA and turn it into another 5,000 ADA, turn it, like. So for me, it was like I can be a little more active, but that's because I pay attention to this space all the time. Like if I was someone that like I couldn't put a lot of time into this space and really keep up to date with the news, then your hands are kind of tied behind your back when it comes to flipping and swing trading. You're probably going to get burned because you're not keeping up when other people are, and that's like what's really beneficial. If you could put a lot of time in, like, you are going to outperform other people just because you're going to get the news faster. You're going to get the information faster. You're going to know about the opportunities sooner. You're in these spaces. You're doing these different things. Because like the truth of the matter is a lot of these swings is all about timing, right? Like were you in before more people found out about something that made them get in?
Yep.
So like for me, it was like I because I'm so active, I was like, let me just play with it more. But now I'm at a point where I'm looking at space buds. We're talking about USD, like Tal was talking. It's like, holy crap, man. USD-wise, some of these projects are getting to the point where it's like, man, if ADA goes down to 20, 30 cents, it's like, can you imagine getting a space bud for $1,500? Like, it's insane.
Whoa, it's insane.
Right. So you gotta. That's why I had to trade, and we traded for them. I can't, like I tell Tal all the time, I can't spend that type of ADA on them, anything. So I have to make sure I had the assets to be able to trade. But yeah, man. So apes. All right. So this is a question for you.
1 second, I have to tell him something about that before Chrissy. Spacebud is a tech company, and whenever Sandro will come with something that will benefit, like a DAO, but the DAO came out on the same day that Snoop Dogg showed up. So it didn't work for him, but they have a DAO and they have a community wallet. No one even paid attention to that.
Right.
They have one more thing. They have Plutus minting service. Like Alessandro did a Plutus minting. No one even talked about it. No one even treated it. So I'm saying Spacebud will run from 5 to 20 in such a fast pace, you will not be able to catch it. Now, maybe you will be able to block, but I think a lot of people won't be able because you're so attached and you're so connected to the space. But people like me, for example, if I don't have 4 or 5 Spacebud and Spacebud,
you're going to miss it.
From 5 to 30 in like 24 hours, I'm going to shoot my head. So that's why I have 5. So
and also your bag is a lot bigger than mine, right? So like, I don't
know about that.
No, I mean, from what you've been saying so far, 100, you got a huge bag, man. I'm still on my own journey. For me, it's like, I'm just constantly trying to improve myself and get one step further and constantly learn. But I mean, dude, what's so awesome about this is this conversation so far. I've been learning a lot from listening to you guys right now. And it's like, holy crap, man, just getting the perspectives of like, other people doing these swing trades of these flips of what they think is undervalued. Like, even when I pay a lot of attention to the space, there's no way I can cover all this by myself.
Impossible.
It's impossible. And that's where like a group is important. And like, not to self-plug or anything like that. Like, that's one of the things I'm trying to create here soon with my own project. It's like, I want to create a group where you can have a lot of people like we are right now that are all specialized and experts in different places. Maybe not just CNFTs, but Ethereum, Solana, Polygon. And like, just imagine how amazing it would be to have a collective of 500 individuals that really know their shit about stuff. Because then you can really move markets, you can really get into the right place, you can really know information before a lot of other people know about it. Like, this sort of stuff right here is like invaluable in a space like crypto and NFTs.
And that's what I was
One guy moved Yamis from 500 to 1,000 in 25 buys, and he said, I'm going to buy the hell out of it. He did the same thing to Chilkong.
Yeah, Arctic, I told you that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But look, Block, that's why I said what we do in NFA is invaluable, and why we're in Twitter Spaces more so than YouTube right now, because these are just two of the guys that we chop it up with every single day, and it's 4 more, and it's like perspective and experts in each thing, and then like it's easier because I can ask why, what, one, and we literally grill each other and say, yours is not as good as mine, and a bunch of us is going to make it, and it's good to be diversified in the one.
We made Chronic sell a Kong. Do you know how long?
Wow.
You know how long it took us?
And 8 to get space.
He's gonna yell at you if this shit runs to 6K though, man.
Well, we got
He
space
understands that liquid is the game, and I say that all the time. NFTs is not the game because you need to be able to buy it.
Yeah.
So Block sold his Spacebot to actually make more money. For me, it makes sense, but you cannot miss the Spacebot run because we're gonna have a Spacebot run. It's very important not to miss that run.
When is that going to happen, though? Because I feel like when is that? Like, do we know anything about anything?
That's the thing. You do not know. So that's why I say you should always have at least D1.
At least one.
Yeah.
Things coming. There's like merch coming. There's 3D buds coming. They're actually like looking at artists who's going to make the 3D buds because the community wanted it. So it's like little things coming. I think for CNFTs to grow, Spacebuds has to grow because that's the ceiling. So anytime Clay gets close to Spacebud, it gets tested. They sell off and buy buds. Whenever a con possibly gets up there, it's gonna get tested, and people are probably gonna sell cons to get buds. But for everything else to rise, buzz have to rise. But 3D buds is gonna be.
And what you just said, that's the most important part. Look on any NFT, when they run up, they were always stopped around like 60 to 70% from Spacebot, and then people start to cash out of that project and then moved all their funds to Spacebot. People sold their Chilcon like all day long just to get a Spacebot. So whenever it's reached that 5-6K floor, immediately someone like selling stuff just to get that Spacebot. So,
And oh yeah, sorry to interrupt. Yeah, I think it's that ratio too. It's like, you're exactly right. Like, if all of a sudden Spacebuds is still 6K and Clay's run to 4,500 or 5K, Spacebuds are gonna run. And that's what I saw with Chilled Kongs and Ape Society, when Ape Society was going stupid and Chilled Kongs wasn't. And it was like, okay, like, this ratio is a little bit off here. I think like people are going to start being like, whoa, is an Ape Society really worth 3x of a Chilled Kong right now? So that's another interesting thing to pay attention to too, is like these different ratios.
Yep.
Definitely.
Absolutely. No, that was going to take me back. You asked about asking questions, but I saw a question in here that I wanted to answer from Brad Bartlett. He asked how we give attention to the projects that is needed for a project too. And we had just been talking about how like being here helps us to gain so much information. Being on Twitter Spaces helps us to gain information and stay up on the projects that we all are in. Watching the YouTube videos, it is really hard to keep up when you are so heavily invested into, and that happened to us. We got too spread thin. Tal and Goose and everyone helped to pull us back so we could start selling the projects that we aren't very into and we can't pay attention to, and putting more into the projects that we can give our all into. But it's still hard to keep up, even if you have a few. But if you can move around to YouTube, to Twitter, to Discord, and talk to more people and just gain alpha that way, that's going to be really beneficial. That helps us because we're busy and we get it. So what about you guys?
I always watch YouTubes too. I watch Chronic YouTube. I watch Block the Owls, but I'm sorry, you so upfront, you scared me sometimes. But you are the biggest YouTuber swing trade. So I always have to keep up with everybody. So sometimes I'm in the space, but I do listen to you, to J Crypto. I do listen to all of us, or everybody that bring any content, because one more thing important, when you bring content out, maybe that specific project gonna round out because of that content. So for me, it's important to be on top of stuff. I have 2 kids. It's not easy. Chronic have 4, Goose have 1. So always like running around ourselves to actually make the best calls. So it's not easy.
Yeah, and we really rely on each other because you're gonna lose some, but it's nice to have perspective. Block, like you said, man. You come in and ask about any project, and we all give honest assessments because this is our hard-earned ADA, and we do believe in a lot of projects. So why are we gonna pump ADA, into a project that we don't believe in, right? When the projects that we do are so close to taking off, right? And you need to get in them before they do. So yeah, man. That was my favorite.
Equine is undervalued too. I'm just looking right now.
Talked about Equine, and exactly. And Chrissy and I, we're gonna actually probably get some more here. I watched.
Let's get some more. You don't need more.
Oh man,
this is it. Right. Crash bag, all these crash bag.
Look, after watching Faha talk about it again, man, it gets me that much more exciting. You're only gonna have a small opportunity to get off of these.
Going into Equine, I do not have enough for sure. I call it the 6-pack move, just to let you know, Block. Yes. So if you're gonna get 1 male, like 1 colt, you can have 5 fillies, and then you don't need gills. So they all like the colors and whatever they want to do. I like the stats because there is shields. We fight about it all the time. I just like them to be able to win all the races in their league. They're going to have like 7 leagues too. It's so much deep, and the depth inside is crazy. So they're going to have 7 leagues. So a 130 cannot run against 170 because you're going to lose. So again, Equine, I think, is probably my top 5. But metaverses too. We all don't like metaverses lately. I do have mine that I like, but none of us, I think, like metaverse lately because it's
becoming oversaturated a little bit. Yeah. And one thing I want to bring up too is investing in stuff before the utility is realized, because something like Equine, it's like the horses look nice, but it's not something that you're going to put as your PFP. It's not. The real value is with the utility, but the utility isn't realized yet. So it's one of those things where getting in before the utility is realized could be super, super valuable. We actually have a couple more people that wanted to join in. What's up, guys?
Hey.
Timmy and Blake.
Hey, we're going crazy, guys.
We got a whole party in here. But yeah, that was something I was thinking about. Like, and someone asked what's my most undervalued too. It's like, I really look for stuff that I think is not, the real value isn't realized yet. So I know you don't like cornucopias too much, Tal, but I think like the jets and javelins are one of those things that once the utility can be realized, once you can stake them, once you can rent them out, once you can do those things.
You don't think they're going to go down before they're going to go up again? That's the question.
Well, I think they had run to 400 when they announced that they were going to be whitelist. And this was something that I bought a lot of, because when you said they gave them all for free and people were selling for 40 to 68, that's when I went super hard on them, because I was like, what are people doing?
I saw your video and I said, oh my God, he's right. Let me buy. I did the same thing.
I bought a ton. And like, in my opinion, the whitelist allocation was a little off from what I would have personally done. And I think that's why I hurt the price a little bit. But I think that they already had a pretty big drop from 400 down to 180, 190. And I was on a Google call with Rob and Josh for a couple hours, just talking to them, and they were showing me different things. And I feel like that's a team I can trust. And I think that staking is going to come out. Those utilities are going to be realized quicker than people think.
And
So I think that's.
But they are hyped. That they are hyped as well. So if they're gonna execute it correctly, they're hyped on top of everything you just said. Yummies was downtrend hype. Chill Kongs was not really all the way up; they already were down. This is the only project that if it will actually execute it on time, they are so hyped. So it's literally can go really crazy. I agree with that. It can go crazy. These bubble jets can go crazy.
But yeah, Blake and Timmy, welcome to our little chat we've been having. What's up, guys? You want to introduce yourself? I know Blake's been on the channel a couple times, but I think this is my first time talking to you on here, Timmy.
Yeah, first time being on here. Thanks so much for having me on. We just finished up with some other stuff. But yeah, I'm Timmy the cat. Meow. So been doing my little YouTube channel since November. Cardano Ecosystem News, if you want to check it out. But yeah, first time being on the Block is hot, and super big fan of what you've been doing, Block. We were actually just talking about jelly cubes a few minutes ago on Blake's show.
Oh shoot, that's what's up. Did you guys were just on a show today with each other?
10 minutes ago.
The Thursday CNFT weekly market update.
Oh man, that's what's up.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Now, I'm curious. I think this was the big question that we've been talking about. Like, what do you guys think is the most undervalued buy right now? That's been the whole debate we've been talking about.
Of like all CNFTs?
Yeah.
It's funny. We were talking about like the top 10 on Blake's show, and we were talking about Boss Cat, and I was looking at Boss Planet, and you guys were just talking about cornucopias, but I think Boss Planet is a bit of a discount right now. It's sitting at like just a little over 100 ADA, and this is the only voxel-based metaverse on Cardano. They have a very clear swim lane to be the sandbox of Cardano, while everybody else fights over the other metaverse, basic 3D geometry metaverse. So I'm a buyer of Boss Planet. I think I might actually pick some up.
I kind of agree with you there, Timmy. It's a great. We still own a bunch, and the Vox. You can see they constantly putting out videos and updates on their game, and we hold 2 Jetpack Voxel cats. So in addition to the land, so I'm betting on them as well. Timmy, good choice, man. For 108, that's just gosh, it had to hit the bottom, right?
Yep.
In 100 data, even I think to buy them.
Yeah, and they've got Boss Cat Alien Club is going to be another collection that they're going to be airdropping to holders of the Boss Cats in the next little while. And we've seen this work really well on Ethereum, where projects have done like an alien version or like a mutant version, and I think they're borrowing a little bit from the Ethereum playbook, and yeah, I think they'll do well.
Timmy, do you think it's too much at too little time now? Like they're releasing back to back to back to back. And you talk about Base C, they didn't just release, the mutants. Do you think it's early for them to, they just put out land, they just put out, with the whole rocket thing and all that. Then they had like a DAO. I know that probably wasn't associated with it, but like, do you think it's too much, too soon, too fast?
It's a good question, Goose. Like they have released.
Let me sharp his question. Goose said Base C, like the Ethereum play, did what they did in a year, and they have so much more money. And Baskets did it in less than 6 months. It's really, really fast.
It's a lot of supply, but the Boss Cat community is rabid, like a cat with rabies. They buy everything they release. Like everyone that holds those Boss Cats, we're just bought in. It's like we're gonna buy almost anything they release. But Goose, you have a good point. It might be too much in the current market, right? These bigger supply collections, might be having trouble selling out, like over the summer. The thing is, if it's an airdrop, I mean, it doesn't really matter. Everyone's just going to get them, and we'll see what happens on the secondary.
How many is in the airdrop?
I think it was like 5,000. I think it was like 3,000. I think it's 3,000. 1,000 to the top. Yeah, it's 1,000 to the top 1,000 Boss Cat holders. 1,000 to the rockets if you have a full rocket, and then I think it's the other 1,000 are being randomly given away to the other 9,000 cats. I think it's about 3,100.
All right, 2 questions for Boss Cat. I think number one, Boss Cat made brought a lot of people into ADA, and they actually made everybody bags. What, they were like 28 at the mint. I know I minted a couple myself, and I know like a lot of people that was their entry point. So I'm not knocking. I'm just having conversation on them. But so as far as like the mutation, like, is there like some type of like, what is that? That's just going to be another PFP. It just scared like how many people's on the team to actually be working on things if they're just constantly putting out stuff. Like, who's working on the back end of it? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what are
We
they?
don't know who is on the back end. That's another problem. That is a big issue with us. And I think Block talk about it too. They're not doxxed. They're not planning to be doxxed. When I put my money in a bear market, I don't want to put it. And I had a lot, and Chronic know that too. I sold all my possession in Boss Cats because of that.
I think they kind of proven themselves as far as what they could put out, but as far as, you know, whatever
But
they
you only saw PFPs, good. So
Yeah,
far, you saw a PFP. You
but
didn't
that's what I'm saying.
nothing.
They what's next? Like, you know, you just put the metaverse out. Metaverse doesn't take a month, doesn't take a year. It could take a long time. So
Yeah, so what I can tell you is like they're not building their metaverse, like they're working with a game company to do that, which I think is like pretty responsible. It's a very humble approach. They're not just going to start coding a metaverse, and they raised a lot of money and they're paying a game company to build it. So I like that approach. But you have a really good point about the founders not being doxxed, and maybe we can bring Blake in here. Blake just did a wicked like video of the top 50 projects, and he scored them all SABC, and one of the dimensions he scored them on is around founders. And having docs founders, strong founders that you can trust is really important. I'm curious, Blake, like we were just talking about Boss Cats, and some people in the chat on his channel were saying they're not docs. What do you think, Blake, about the founders and the not docs element?
Well, I gave Boss Cat a B for founders. And I gave their community an S. So that's kind of the dichotomy there with Boss Cat Rocket Club. And I think that's what people have sensed. They've kind of been a polarizing project. And there were some things that Blue Magic said at the beginning, and there were some marketing tactics that I didn't necessarily agree with at the beginning. But you can't deny some of the stuff that they've been putting out, the collaborations, the different drops, the different airdrops that all give value to the holder. So once again, you mint a Boss Cat for 20, then you're able to get a Boss Planet, then you're able to get a Vox Cat, then you're going to be able to get this mutation. You know, if you held Boss Cat, whether their founders are doxed or undoxed, or, you know, good or bad people, they've given value to the holders. But if you're someone on the outside looking in, it's hard to say, like, you know, it's much easier to buy in at 20 than to buy in at 1,000. So that's a difficult position it puts people in. But, you know, it is hard to know. People love Space Buds and people love Clay Nation because you can trust the founders. I know that Alessandro is going to do what he says, and he's going to make the project better in some way or another, whether he does this 3D model, whether he doesn't do anything and he just continues making these awesome smart contract applications for it. You know that Lena and their team are going to make Clay Nation better with the Clayverse and all these other things because you can trust the founders, you can see them, you can relate with them. You can't say the same about Boss Cats.
Right. That was one of my big things I've been preaching on Twitter Spaces for 2-3 months now. All these drops, and Blake, you forgot the rocket parts, which was like amazing. Yeah. Like you said, if you held, man, they've been so awesome utility. That's what I like, right? This type of utility. But if Blue Magic or Tomcat would just have 1 or 2 Twitter Spaces, AMAs with their community, they can just, you know, that would mean everything to hear their voice, hear their passion, hear where their direction's going. Why is this? People can ask. It doesn't have to be like the jungle style. And Blake, you always in the jungle. Like, we don't have to attack them and tell me no. Like, easy questions. It's like, and then I think that would galvanize the whole ecosystem and then bring all kind of other buyers, chill calms, bombers. You know what I mean? I think that would blow the sky, you know, the roof off the floor price. And they just haven't done it. And all these partnerships and stuff, like, I think they're falling a little bit short. But just a simple, in my opinion, you know, to get out there to have some community AMAs on Twitter Spaces or whatever avenue of social media they choose.
But Chronic, I grind and I minted 10. I had 1,000 top. And like what you just said, it's incorrect to me because I decided after I hold for a long time, I said, okay, this is enough. It's too much. They moved too much ahead. They did, because you look on stuff that happened on Ethereum, and I always try to compare project or how they moves. For me, how they act right now, it's feel like a slow rug, and I just don't like it as an investor point of view. Okay, I made my bag. My bag will be so much more secure right now. in a
Don't say
space bud. With a space bud, it's so much easy. If you look at it as an investment, I made like from a 20 ADA mint almost 9,000 ADA sell just because I hold for 2 months or 3 months, whatever it was. So when you say, okay, I put 220, but now it's worth 9K and I don't really see any progress with them in the matter of like connecting with the community, real connection, not a few sentences on Discord. This is just not enough. If they will come to Twitter Spaces or just do an interview with either one of the YouTubers, it doesn't matter for me, whoever it is, they should do it with Timmy because he's like he's biased right now, right? They should do it with Timmy.
Very biased.
I have it too.
If we do that right now, we're literally gonna go to 4,000 the floor for the first. Easy.
I've been saying that for 3 months now, and people and then because we really cherish that, like we cherish these project owners, these CEOs, these founders that come in and talk to us, and then like it's just easy to trust someone that we've spoken to. You guys know, y'all talk to them, you can get behind them and trust them. It's a lot easier to put your word in the line.
The minute Blue Magic comes out and is like, yo, I'm Blue Magic.
I'm buying. I'm telling you, I said it multiple times. I'm gonna buy my 10 cats back immediately if Blue Magic coming out.
How do you know you don't already know Blue Magic? How do you know he's not a blue cat?
Well,
that's all I'm gonna say.
Timmy, that would be fire. And then if that was the case, it would
be the GOAT.
It would be wonderful. I mean, that's my whole thing. I want.
So let's do this. I'm claiming to be Blue Magic. Will the real Blue Magic please stand up? If the Blue Magic is watching, let's get you on a stream. He's gonna have to come out of hibernation to defend and to show who he is. Let's do that. That's how we get him out here.
It is interesting, man, because like you have such a successful project, and I know there's like a lot of legal and tax stuff. I'm sorry, I'm lagging too, guys. I don't know what's going on. But it's interesting, like how if I'm a project owner, I'd be doing everything I can to go on every single Twitter space or like go on different YouTube videos, go on different channels. And like even as I'm starting my project, I went on Blake, I went on Cardano Thor, I went on Freedom 35ers. I've been talking to Timmy about it. I'm with Chronic right now. It's like if I'm an owner, I know I'm a YouTube channel, but like I'm gonna try my best to talk about the project. So I know like Boss Cat's super polarizing. I think they are low right now compared to like some of the catalyst news that might be coming out. But I do agree with Tal in this sense, like why the secrecy? Why you guys are doing a lot of shit?
Yeah.
You know, like you can be a talking blue cat if you wanted to be a talking blue cat. Just or go on a Twitter space. I don't know, man. I would like to see that.
Tal, you said
it hurt my feelings because I was the biggest advocate. I'm serious, going all the way back to like December. I was the biggest advocate, and they didn't support me at all by making the videos. And it was like I was getting DMs trying to DM them, and they would like ignore me. Like I was like I'm not no one, but like come on, I'm trying to like say what's going on, and they wouldn't just give me the time of day, and not even their admins. Like come on. So I was like, and I still own a lot. I was heavily invested and always talked them up and. It's simple, obvious. Get out here and tell us what's all these partnerships and stuff. They're not real. You being out here with me is real to me. You know what I mean?
All right, so that was my pick for most undervalued NFT, Boss Planet. Did you guys all go ahead? I'm curious what your picks were, or Blake, who just joined.
Yeah, go for it, Blake.
Good one,
I don't want to go too long on the topic. I don't have a ton of time. So if you see me drop out, I'll make a message in the chat saying I had to go. But Tal, I'm interested to hear your opinion because you said you didn't like Boss Cat because they're moving too fast. So how would Blue Magic coming out and doxing himself change that aspect? Why would that then make you excited then?
No, they're moving too fast without showing us their faces.
Okay.
It should be correlation with their moves they make. They dropping and dropping and dropping. Show us more. You cannot just drop on us stuff. It has to be some of correlation between what you're doing and what's basically the community asking from you. It cannot just be I'm dropping on you stuff. This is the announcement. Go ahead and do it. It's look. Did they Clay Nation drop their news with Snoop Dogg? They showed up in a space that was the first ever day the space was created, and it was my space. So when you see that from them, from Clay Nation, and you compare them now to Basket, they're not even on the same league. They're so minor league compared to the big leagues, although their floor shows so much more. And Timmy talked about it too. If you look on any metaverse or any meta in general right now, Clay is the play right now by far, just by far.
I think so.
I think my two picks, one being a metaverse. I think Cardania under 100, just getting one. If you don't have a lot of ADA, under 100 seems like a steal to me. They were one of the projects in my video that was like between an S and an A. I had one when I had him as an S and I moved him down to an A, but I got some flack for that. Sorry, Crawford. And then the other one was Equine.
Yep.
Equine around 300.
Wow.
Cardania is
Seems like everyone's talking about that.
Not a lot.
Cardania is my fifth NFT pick in general from all NFTs. Cardania, and I always talk about them, and they don't succeed to mint their avatar. For me, it's a crime. I minted 10, and I'm buying everything and anything Cardania release because of track records. If you got a card for free or 20, I don't it was like
28
space. But if you held these cards, it's a fact that Cap giving you for holding, and he shows his face and he always talk, and he never overpromised. That's another thing that I really like about him. He's dropping you the news basically that they were already accomplished. He's not telling you I'm building. He's telling you it's here. There you go. This is such a refreshing point of view from a project leader that I really haven't saw so far. My biggest holding in metaverses or games right now, except Yami's, it's definitely Cardania, and everybody telling me, man, that's not. But
I'll just say, Alessandro is the other person who just releases stuff when it's built, and that's a pretty good cohort to be a part of, right? Captain and Alessandro, like if you're being compared to Alessandro, that's a good person to be compared to. He's another one that just builds stuff silently and then releases it. The creator of Space Buds, for anyone that's not aware. So that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, you can harvest the rad and all the resources every epic. You know what I mean? Right. That's one of our biggest metaverse plays as well. Yes.
One more thing, everybody talked about cornucopias. They literally drained us. But every epoch, you minting resources from Cardania for free. He giving you value right now that you don't even know what the value is. He giving you 38 resources.
And it's 2 times for June, 2x rewards for June.
Yeah, we just now got an out. You always getting something from him for free because you holding. It's the same thing with boss cats, but come on, show us yourself and what you actually can accomplish. And maybe they shouldn't. Maybe they're 17 years old. We don't know that too. So
another play that keeps getting mentioned in there is Adanauts, man. We all know we love Adanauts. 70 Ada, it's a crime, and that's going to be a play block if you're not an Adanauts and Bourbon, and you know we've all interviewed him. He's in our spaces all the time. It's a great play. It's only a matter of time before that rebound.
Builder, he's transparent. He's a front. He's around.
He's been in Blake. I bought he was in Blake's show long time ago. I think 2 months ago.
Who was on my show?
Bourbon and
yes.
Bourbon. Yeah, we're just talking about him on Blake's show. And Bourbon, I think it's Bourbon who walks his cat, I believe, right? He walks his cat outside. So I wanted to give him a big shout out.
Yes,
let your cats outside. Cats got to get fresh air. So shout out to Bourbon for that.
Yeah,
dude,
we had them on our ours as well. They were fun. It was great to see all of his little workshop, his little art
he built
pieces,
them all in front of
how
him.
he does that.
Everything he makes at Palmer Clay bakes them.
And he's so passionate about it. It's just hard not to connect right with him.
He's going to be doing a lot of airdrops as well. He was saying he does spaces again every Wednesday or Thursday, Weed Whiskey Wednesday, you know. So like again, why he's got time to do this, he's got stuff why he can get on every week and give you 2-3 hours of his time.
He's a regular in NFA too. He show up every other day. You will see him there coming up. We have any question about anything involved with his project, he will pitch it to you. And like Block said, I have a project. I need to show the project. why you shouldn't go all over the place and just show it. If so, yeah, for me,
More eyes.
that's a
and
big
ears.
win too.
Sorry, I just had to harvest my rad.
There you go, buddy.
Dude, I had a
Get it?
CNFT Moon actually had a question that I'm curious with you guys. Ika Nikos. What are your guys' feelings on that project? The whole passport thing? What is y'all's opinion on that project?
Nasty.
Sorry, can I go first? And then I got to drop.
Go for it. I appreciate you coming on here too, Blake.
Yeah.
I know you're stressed for time.
Yeah. I think that the only variable for me is, do they still have enough funding to make it? If they were depending on a sellout and they didn't get the sellout, that's a huge red flag. If they sold the 3,000 and they were fine, they had 2 million in pre-seed funding. I think we all saw the articles. If that 3,000 NFTs gets them to where they're funded, I think you're okay sticking into it. If they don't have the money, then they're either going to need to find extra funding outside or do another NFT drop, which means more ADA goes out of your pocket. So the problem is money for me. I think the founders, if they have the money, I think they can do it. And I think they've shown a lot of great teasers and trailers that make it seem like they have the skills and capacity to, but it comes down to money in the end.
If Blake said something important, if they have a money problem, I'm out.
Right.
Easy.
I seen them buy too much hype. I seen them collab with every damn project on the whole chain, and I'm pretty sure they bought their way to do that. Disclaimer. But to me, it was just like they bought hype. They bought a bunch of hype, and I move in this whole like crypto arena and this NFT arena with no feelings. So I have no feelings. On to the next. There will be another Economicals, tomorrow, a week from now, and I'll buy into that one that will sell out and will, push forward. Like, I don't got time for anything else. I got to move on because guess what? The next one's coming. The next one's coming. The next one's coming. I just got to, I'll catch the next one.
Yeah, way too pricey, too hard to get in, whatever. They could have did something different. It's one of them long holds. So why I'm going to, like you said, block about a space bet, why I'm going to have this tied up for all this time, for a year, 2, 5 years, have my money tied up in that. So
Dude, look how quick it would happen. Cornucopias was around forever.
yeah, Cornucopias around forever.
They just meant like
But
they're
you
ready to
should
roll.
mint. That's the biggest question. You should mint cornucopias, of course, compared to Iconos.
For
I wouldn't
sure.
even spend the time to check Iconos because I have cornucopias.
No brainer. No
Yep.
brainer.
Track record of being in Cardano. Since I've been in a space, I've been wanting to do cornucopias, but it was so damn long it took. You know what I mean? Like, that obviously looked best. The bubble worlds, that looked best from freaking November. You showed you that.
Look good, like we could talk about that. Like what's some of the your biggest L's you took, Block? What projects did you buy into that you thought was gonna be huge based on previews and then you took an L.
That's a good question. I think there's a lot to learn from L's. And Blake, I know if you need to go, man, just jump out whenever, man.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, I'll see you later, bro. We'll have another call.
Take it easy on the
Goose, Tal, see you.
See you, Blake.
Take care.
Dude, I mean, I've taken L's too. Like, when I was first getting in, I was chasing hype too much. I think that's where a lot of people get burned. They chase the news. They see something big coming out. They're like, oh my God, I should buy this. I should get this utility. And then kind of like what Tal was saying, if you can do the opposite of what a lot of people are doing, that's usually the better bet. I think when I was getting in, I went too hard on Pavia. I was making too much of a connection with Decentraland. I was like, oh, this is the biggest project on Cardano. It's the biggest land metaverse. That's a strong narrative. They just sold out a bunch of their land. They're not going to have any more land. So I think that was an L I took. And, some of the other L's were just buying on the run up. So, now that I know better, I've been winning a lot more.
The biggest L for me wasn't buying a project. It was selling a project, and it was selling some of my Ape Society apes too early. Once upon a time, I had almost 20 apes. I'm a little under 10 right now, and I wish I had like those ones that I minted. And so, yeah, that's like the biggest L. It's not something I bought that went down. It's something I sold that went up. And those are the ones that hurt the most for me. Just thinking about what it could have been.
Did you make profit?
Oh, I'm still up in Ape Society, of course. Yeah, but
Good.
I would have had more, right?
L's, real L's.
Yeah. I guess
No
not a real L.
This is not a real L. This is a win.
Yeah,
with
you
All right.
won,
the
bro.
dots.
And more generally, I was thinking about this just last night. I feel like all of my gains have been from mints, and like I haven't been doing like amazing on secondary. I'm not a super big trader, but like I'm not even sure if I'm up on secondary. I think like all of my biggest gains are from mints, which is interesting.
Yeah, that makes sense. Definitely makes sense.
Mine is
How
super
about you,
llamas.
Tal? What have you lost?
Super llamas. I minted 10 super llamas for like
Super llamas?
you don't need.
I don't even know super llamas. It
That's-
just
that's
sounds
why- that's why-
ridiculous.
So it was like, I think my second or third week. I said, "Oh my god, this is so cute! It's super llamas," and I minted like 10. And then I look on the secondary and I said, "Okay, that probably was a mistake. Let's move on." I didn't even try it, and lately I did a spring cleaning in my wallets, and I literally posted all of them. I think this I lost 50.5 ADA just to list them because no one will buy them. So
Jesus.
yeah, super llamas.
It's a learning curve. I lost a bunch. I mean, I lost recently. I lost back in the day as well. I think it was called Dogs on the Chain. I don't know if you Dogs Off the Chain or something like
Dogs
that.
off the chain.
It was like these little pugs or something, like Frenchies, I forget. And they had like space suits on them. I was like, oh my gosh, like I need them. And just I still hold one. That's like my little piece, my memorabilia. I keep it. But I also bought in Split World, right? We talk about something that looked great, and I hate to fuck my bag right now a little bit, but not. It looked amazing. Split World was amazing. I mean, the customization. I mean, the names in the community, and I bought a bunch, and I minted a bunch, and I kept buying, and then around like 38, I tried to like cost average. Then it just kept going, and Tal on me, and then it just kept going. And I was like, Jesus.
Yeah.
But you win some, you lose some, and there's still hope for these projects. The 2 projects I just named, is still hope. I continue to stay tapped in with the communities on both. Especially Split World. I see that they got some things coming, like staking their.
Should we buy? Because
Who?
floor is crazy low.
I was accumulating for a while now, trying to get a better cost average.
You minted? How many you minted? You minted a lot, right?
But then after that I went in, and then like I said, I've been cost averaging around 30, then around 20. Then I stopped, but I always pay attention because you never know, that could be a play. This is a project that probably made, if we're not talking about metaverses, they made almost close to 800,000 ADA.
My God, floor is 17.5.
Yeah,
It's
they made 800,000 ADA, maybe almost 1 million ADA on mint alone. We're just talking mint alone.
So this is the place I like, Block. Look on Splitboard. They minted on
Yeah.
8. They
I was
made
about-
their ADA to
It could be a huge play. It could be a huge play. That's
It could
17.
be a crazy play. For example,
They have so much ADA.
Wow.
So it could
you
be
can
huge.
buy 4 on a price of mint.
Continue to tank. Who knows? But I mean, for my sake, I
10
hope.
where? Goose.
My worst play, honestly, was trading. I sold a Boss Cat Rocket, and I traded for and I bought 20 D-bag MFers. That was me actually FOMOing in because of I was a hypocrite and I didn't like the copycat things, but this thing was a CCO and it really was revolutionary. And my man Daly gave me one, so what I needed to do, I sold it and I basically flushed 1,700 ADA down the line, but I did get 22 keys. Yeah, it's something like that. I mean, it was like 1,900. I got some value in my MFers right now, right? And I got 22 airdrop keys. So, what's yours, right quick?
Mine's Retro Aliens.
Retro Aliens.
Had anyone ever heard of that?
Oh, I made money on those. I made money on it.
How?
You probably dumped on her.
I dumped on you, Chris.
I got them after we were sniping chilled Kongs, and it was early on, probably January.
Yeah,
And
everybody has to do their own thing.
I was brand new, so I had just done equine, and then we were working on Kongs,
Feeling
and
good.
yep, I was feeling good. I was understanding traits and all that, excited about the traits, and then they popped up, and I'm like, they're cute, just like Kongs are cute. So let's do rare traits and try to snipe.
What's the name again? I have to check them out.
Retro RETRO
Retro
aliens.
What?
Yeah.
I
The
don't.
floor is like split world now, so like, hey, that's
I
the
mean,
play. That's the play.
maybe the-
Play might be a play.
Don't buy
Dude,
it.
I mean, that's kind of an interesting question too. Like, do you guys like what are your 10x plays? Because sometimes I like get into like some degen like super risky stuff where it has like super high potential, but like it also has the potential of just going to zero. Like I think Split World is one of those. Mars birds have been on my radar recently. I know you guys were talking about those, but I don't even know.
Space Buds 2.0. Space Buds 2.0 right there.
Oh my god!
Don't
Timmy,
go
don't even
there. They were 8 a mint. We sold them out. Like you don't like. It's too late now. Like it's
too late. Yeah.
38 before you're already buying 3/4. Now it may not be, but not.
No, we're telling you right now, it's a fud, right? It's not gonna go nowhere. We talked to the owners. We talked
Hey,
to
do
the.
your own research.
I sold my. I had
They lied twice, multiple times.
How
So.
many you sold? Over 100 yet?
So that's a miss. Do not go for that.
No.
At 8
You missed. You missed.
I minted 150 block. And I sold everything. I made a profit of 7K, and I bought 2 yummies for 3,000 and something each.
Yeah, you made 7K off that shit?
Yeah, you missed the
minted 150.
We all made money off it. That's what we telling everybody in NFA. We all minted it in NFA. We told everybody that we're gonna sell. It's gonna hit 50, and I'm selling everything. We tell everybody real, and then people didn't like fumble over each other. They could have hit 100. And it still might hit 50 again eventually if the community builds.
Not gonna hit 50.
I agree, but I'm just telling the man and whoever's involved, and I'm not trying to fund their project, but the chance to get in was like the mint.
It's over, yeah.
I think they pivoted, right? They're building a game now, I think.
Crazy.
Can you imagine if this went to 1,000 now that you guys talked shit about it?
Insane.
Hey, if you
Tal's
want,
not going to be able to come on again.
They're gonna do a game.
We
Think
have
about them doing a game with 8 a mint for like 8,000. Like they don't have the money to do it.
Yeah.
Like it's not gonna happen. That's it.
Do this thing in our Discord, in our Twitter space, and we say, not financial advice. Thank y'all for tuning in. You're not anybody up here. You don't know what people are. Everybody up here is a degen. They're crazy. We're buying thousands of dollars into PFPs. Do your own research. You're not Tal. You're not Chronic, Timmy, Block, Goose. Do your own research on all this. Is all not financial advice. Nothing here. But Mars birds.
It's hard not to FOMO. It's hard not to FOMO in that NFA space. There's so much energy, and there's all these like really smart people on stage. I FOMO in all the time. I got these Chets on Crec, this Ethereum, totally useless thing. I moved ADA to Ethereum just to like FOMO in with these guys, but like it's not a success. Intermeta, I've got a gold Intermeta that I don't know what I'm going to do with.
Timmy, I'm telling you, that's still a play.
Okay, I'm holding on to it, but we'll see.
But I asked him, what do you think about the project? And he went to buy one. I told him, Timmy, why did you buy one? I asked you, what do you think? I didn't tell you to buy anything, please.
It was in a DM. I'm like, whoa, Tal's asked me what I think. I thought I had like the inside scoop. So I went and bought like the most rare one. But then he's like, yeah, I got like one of these common ones. I'm like, what the hell?
It sounds like a dangerous place. I was saying I was going to hop in there. I don't know, man.
No, we made a lot of people money.
Do your own research. No,
I've definitely made more by being an NFA than I've lost. That's for sure. But you got to know which ones to go after. And my lesson is don't FOMO. Like I'm not Tal, I'm not Chronic or Goose. And so I got to know my lane. And I'm not a trader, I'm a holder. So I got to follow when it's right and let these guys play their league when they want to.
What are you holding, Timmy? We didn't really talk about that. What is your bags right now?
I mean, my big holders, I've got all the top 10s. I've got the couple Space Buds. I've got Clay Nation. I've got the original Clay Nations. Like, I've got a couple of those. I really like those. I've got Ape Society, of course. Like, everything in the top 10. Like, I've been moving into blue chips. I actually want to have a few less. I just got into chilled Kongs. So, yeah. So, I've been trying to get into, like, the top 10 and less of, like, the top, the bottom, under 30. Yeah, I hold all of those.
Lately, too. We talked about it.
Yeah, I bought Equine. So yeah, Talon Chronic and others that like in NFA, Tal Chronic, Ada Man Goose. Like when I want to buy something, I ask them like, okay, well with this project, should I just buy floor or should I buy like a rare trait? Tell me the mechanics of the project, and they're able to give me like a 10 or 15-second summary, and then like they've actually helped me like pick out actual Space Buds. Like, hey Timmy, this one's a good match for you. So yeah, so I hold all that stuff, all the top 10. Outside of the top 10, though, I have some cool stuff. I've still got Lazy Llamas. I'm still a big fan of that team. They just released their Lazy paper yesterday, and they have some pretty cool stuff coming with Lazy Expeditions. And so, yeah, I'm still holding that project. Let's see. Yeah, I think those are like my big ones. I've got Mechanism. I got one of the one of ones mechanisms. So I got number 7. I don't know if I'll ever be able to sell that thing, but we'll see. I might have to move it to NAMI. Like I'd like people to be able to offer like for it. One thing I'm worried about is like I have a bunch of NFTs like on Daedalus and like these non-NAMI wallets, and I don't think you can get offers if it's like in those wallets.
Eternal is the play, I think, right now. I just moved my NAMI to Eternal.
I'm just nervous to have like all those like really valuable ones. Like I keep them
use your ledger.
Yeah,
so
and with Eternal.
The new ledger update, you can actually interact smart contract on your Eternal or NAMI, and then you're just good to go. I just start to do the movement, so I'm not gonna have anything on my computer. Everything gonna need to go through a ledger. I did the same thing with Ethereum. I'm really Adaman made me a security freak. And you have a good reason. So he talked to me about it. I say, yeah, I'm taking everything off.
Yeah, we were just talking about it on Blake's channel, and like some people are using the Bluetooth, and you can do that. Bluetooth packets are encrypted, but there's still sniffers, and like I would just recommend using the cable. I use a cable with my ledger, and if you're gonna go through the trouble of getting a ledger, just go ahead and use the cable. Would be my recommendation if you can.
But, were you saying like on JPEG Store, like with the ledger attached to your NAMI, like when you post something, you can put the code, like it works, like you just put the code in and it submits? Wow, I need to do that because like I have a wallet where it's kind of like my treasury wallet where I just hold a lot of like my NFTs that I'm not trading, and then I have other wallets that aren't linked to a ledger, so I'm faster.
But it'd be nice to have like those blue chips on like available for offers. Like I still want to entertain offers for some of these like really nice ones I have.
Did you mint the 1-for-1 or did you just buy that secondary?
Yeah, I minted it. I got one of the Genesis tokens because of Chronic. Just being part of NFA, they got me onto the Genesis tokens. I bought one at like 1100 ADA. Not early. I bought it like 3 weeks before Mechanism came out, but NFA got me onto the Genesis token, and I just got lucky.
Yeah, that was awesome.
We keep talking about overexposed, or we should stop?
Oh, it was a good play. I mean,
it was a good play. Absolutely. I still think it's going to be a good play. And Timmy, I think you got a wonderful NFT, especially if you didn't see number 10. Number 10 was unbelievable. It was that 10, the red one, Timmy, or whatever. That was so sick. And then I just told Jeff yesterday, I spoke with him on the Ugly Space, him and Sergio. I told Jeff, if you can throw 3 to 5 instruments into like their website and you get like the number 10, animated video with like a soundtrack, that would be so amazing. That would flip everything. So we still hold 3 Genesis tokens and like 5 mechs, 6 mechs. We sold 3 mechs and 2. We made like 2K8 on a project and still hold everything for free. So really believe in it.
We love it.
We're gonna be able to mint like 9 or 10 come season 2. So
and price is holding too for overexposed. That's I do dig the art for the Genesis more than the actual mechanism. I think this like 3D camera art I think it's insane.
Yep.
But I don't dig the actual project. I think it's yeah, I have a problem with the black paper
Yeah.
in general, but only investment. I do not hold any of it right now, but I will definitely get one Genesis for sure, 100%. I will get a Genesis. I think it's a must in your collection, the Genesis, not the mechanism.
It's a good deal, probably, right? Probably right under 1,000 still, around 899.
Yeah, the 955 right now, the floor on the blue.
Oh, then they ain't going no lower than that. You know, our entries were at 4, so we got lucky. Chrissy actually won one in all competition. That's have a nice, talented, artsy wife. Is really awesome. She's always winning something. So, no, man, it's a really good play, especially the mechs. Like, you know, especially if they do the black paper and change it to say, like, if you own so many, you know, you own 3 mechanisms to get a whitelist, that would really energize the floor price. You know, hopefully Jeff and them are smart about that and do like what the Clays did, because you can change you can pivot and everything's fluid, right? If not, you know, you're gonna become left behind. Last thing about OE, it took a minute to come down in the floor price because it was around what 1,700, 500, 400, 3. So like me, we just been holding. So you had ample amount of time to get on out and make a bag at any level.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, it's been about 2 hours now. So I gotta eat, and I think this is a good time to wrap this up too. But I personally had a great time. I've learned a lot through this. We had over 70 people listening for the past 2 hours, which is honestly awesome because we didn't even market this or anything. So I'm definitely gonna hit you guys up again to, you know, do something like this again in the future. I think it's super valuable, not only for me, but for everyone listening. And, you know, I appreciate everyone coming on so last minute today. This really was out of nowhere. And I also want to give a shout out to make sure that you guys follow all of the guys here. Chronic and Chrissy, they have their own YouTube channel. They have their Twitters. Timmy is with Cardano Ecosystem News. You know, make sure to subscribe to him. And these other guys, Tal and Guz, I mean, they have NFA that they do a lot of stuff with. They usually come on around like 12 p.m. Eastern time. I think they're doing it tonight too in a Twitter space.
It's 9. It's between 6 and 7 in the West. So 6 and 7 Pacific time. So around 10 Eastern time it starts, but it's run all night. So yeah, whenever I finish work, usually it's
to get it in there. Like I said, usually when Tal gets in, if he'll come in and start it off because he'll fall asleep on it. But it was awesome, Block. Straight up, man. Let's do this more often. When we do it with NFA, like we threw it on Timmy joined the last one, we'll throw it in the chat with you. And whenever we can, we're gonna keep doing this because it was fun and it helps the community and the people obviously enjoy it.
We want the CNFT community to grow. So as OGs, not OGs, long time in the ecosystem, we want to give as much contact to other people to understand the ecosystem. We're gonna benefit from it. So
yeah, I don't know if you guys talked about the Discord, but NFA just opened up a Discord. I don't know if it's open for the whole public, but if you guys want access, just DM Goose. Send him a DM and you'll get private access. So just DM Goose on Twitter.
He's our DMer.
That's a little insight. Vlog's like, what? Good luck.
Thanks for letting me.
It's an inside joke. It's an inside joke. No worries.
Thanks for letting me crash the party, Block. It's so cool to be on your stream for the first time.
Dude, I know we're gonna have to do it soon again, and I think this stuff is important and it's fun, and you know, honestly, it's why not do this sort of thing? You know, it's so valuable to so many people, especially when the market's like not the most happy right now. I think it's enjoyable for people to just be able to listen in and have some fun with it. But yeah, that pretty much wraps up this episode. I appreciate everyone listening today. And yeah, we're gonna try to run something similar to this more frequently than we have been. So but yeah, I'll catch you guys later. Appreciate everyone coming on.
Thanks for having us. Thanks for being here.
Thanks to the listeners.